morning. This is Pastor Brandon M. Spriggs from the Zion Hill Agape Baptist Church in Capitol Heights, Maryland. And this is your morning message in 5 minutes. Here we are on Friday. It's the end of the week. We've been talking about God meant it for good and also what to do with shattered dreams. And so there is so much more to our story dealing with Joseph that we have to cover. So we're going to go kind of fast through this, but make sure that you read it when you get time in Genesis chapter 37, starting at verse 18. We see that his brothers had a plot for him. When Joseph arrives in Dothan, his brothers see him coming, and their hatred began in their hearts. It had found fertile soil, and it had grown into a despise or a desire to murder their own brother. It had grew to a point where they wanted to hurt their own brother. And had these men arrested sin when it first began to grow in their hearts, the whole episode would have been avoided. But they didn't. They allowed dislike to grow in full bloom and hatred and a desire for murder. And so their plot was to kill him, but their brother Reuben has a proposal. His proposal is, and it also displays his true nature. He's weak, and he vacillates from one position to another. And he's like water. He's totally unstable. So on the one hand, he has his brothers who want to kill him, but then Reuben has a proposal that let's just throw him into a pit, right? And so then Judah makes the plan. These men are so callous that they throw their own brother into a pit and sit down to eat their lunch. Yeah, and there is no record of Joseph's crying or begging for help in these verses, but let's make it clear that Joseph had to have cried out, and they had to have turned a deaf ear to every single cry that he had while they enjoyed their lunch. So the plan turned way to a proposal, and then they had some panic. When Reuben returns, he finds that Joseph is gone. He panics because he knows his father will blame them, because Joseph, after all, came looking for them. And so Reuben has been on the outs with Jacob ever since he committed adultery with his father's wife, Bilhah. And these verses give us a little hope that Reuben is maturing into something resembling a leader. And so here's what happens next. The brothers have a scheme. Again, these brothers conspire together to cook up a plan. This time, they are out to deceive their father. They take the despised coat and dip it into blood of a goat and take it home to Joseph. And they say that some wild animal has attacked Joseph, and this is all that we could find. And so their scheme turned to severity because there is no compassion for their father in their words. They just lied to him bold-faced. They bring him the blood-stained coat and they ask him to identify it. These men have no heart. Jacob now has sorrow, because his beloved son, his youngest son, his son of his old age, has died. The brothers have no shame because these hard-hardened men revealed their hypocrisy by trying to comfort their father in his grief, as if they don't know what happens. Now, this would be a sad place to step out of this story at the end of a long week. And Joseph is gone, sold as a slave, headed off to Egypt in chains, and Jacob is heartbroken and inconsolable. The beloved son of his wife Rachel, his choice to be the head of the family upon his death is gone. The brothers are guilty of a terrible sin against their own brother, but then also against their father and against their family, and most importantly, against God. They're being eaten alive by the guilt. A prosperous, promising family has been plugged into the depths of gloom and doom and hopelessness, and it would appear that Joseph's great dreams are at an end. They will never come to pass, and they are completely shattered. But behind the scenes of this terrible tragedy moves the unseen hand of God's sovereignty. What appears to be a hopeless situation is merely setting the stage for hope in the future. God often makes things look hopeless so that we will realize that He is all the hope that we need. If you are dealing with a hopeless situation right now, my promise to you is that God is still working behind the scenes. And even though it may look like your dream cannot come to pass, watch God make a way out of no way. This has been Pastor Brandon M. Spriggs from the Zion Hill Agape Baptist Church in Capitol Heights, Maryland. This is your morning message in 5 minutes. Till next time, keep advancing the kingdom. God bless you.